me so much about YouTube will very soon become the country that I used to live in. Yes, you heard it right. I have something like 3 months left for me to stay here in this country. And very, very soon, yeah, I'm leaving. Okay, so what are um, my honest view about living in Japan? Well, stay with me because in this video I'm going to talk about it. Now, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Harold and I come from the Solomon Islands, a country in the South Pacific. And yeah, for just to provide a bit more detail about the Solomon Islands, it's a tiny country close to Australia and Papua New Guinea. And I moved to Japan in 2021 to study. And I haven't gone back to the Solomons ever since. My studies are about to finish. I finished most of all of my classes, and currently I'm just working on my thesis, which should be submitted early next year in January. And depending on the result of that thesis, I should, and also depending on the results of my courses, the courses that I finished this month, I should be I should be graduating in early March next year, which means that I have only something less than 4 months to go before I leave Japan. Yeah, but the question is, what? How do I feel about like leaving Japan? Yeah, that's a very. I mean, for me personally, like I've been living here for more than 3 years now, and hey, bro, good evening. And I mean, I feel excited about going home because I haven't seen my family, my relatives, like my friends back home for over 3 years. But then part of me kind of like, should I leave Japan? I mean, it's it's something that I don't really know how to explain. Like, I feel like I enjoy living here in Japan. It's mm, and it's really hard to talk about this. But uh, Shiname. Oh, is this Saturo? I live in Shiname. Good morning to you. Yeah. So as I've mentioned, I've lived in Japan for the last Japan for the last 3 years, for over 3 years now, and my studies are wrapping up early next year, like in March, and I should be heading home, like straight after the graduation. And yeah, so as I've mentioned, like I feel like Japan has really taught me a lot, especially when it comes to content creation. Like I'm not here in Japan to create content to make YouTube and all this, but like accidentally, like I was motivated to start making videos about Japan when I came here as a student, and I feel like I've learned a lot when it comes to content creation here in Japan. So much so that I I sort of feel attached to the life here in Japan. I mean, that's not just I'm not saying that like if I go back home there is nothing there for me to create content on, but like I feel like I haven't really discovered, not really discovered, but I've never been to um, places in Japan that I want to visit. um, I've been wanting to visit more places, like to go to Hokkaido, to go to places like Okinawa, so many other places like Kagoshima. But because of my schedule as a student, I couldn't able to do that. Now the other day, someone, one of my Japanese friends who work at the place that I actually live in, he also subscribed to my channel. He was telling me like we were talking the other evening, and he said something about the videos that I've been, especially my vlogs, my recent vlogs on my channel. And he said that like he said something that I was like, I think he made a very good point. Like most of my vlogs, most of my videos on his channel are just based on the area that I live in. Like a day in my life, I just take my viewers around the place that I live, and I haven't really made videos about, you know, so many places here in Tokyo. And that friend of mine said like, as your customer, like him being a customer, he he wants to see things that, like he wants to watch, or like if he comes to my channel, he wants to watch um content that actually worthwhile content, uh, content that means that has value. Like what am I going to what am I going to offer my viewers if they come to my channel? So what he was trying to say was, if I want to get more um I mean, if I want to okay, so the friend, what actually he was talking about was, I should consider doing videos about showing places in Tokyo that people might want to go to, or show talk about things in Tokyo or in Japan that uh, people would like to do if they happen to come to Japan. And to him, I wasn't really making videos about those kind of topics. So thinking about it now, I felt that like maybe I haven't fully discovered or haven't fully um, yeah. So thinking about now, I feel like I haven't really um, covered topics that my viewers would like to see, or like I haven't been to so many places in Japan that like people might want to see, and because of that, I feel like if I go home after my studies, um, that would mean like an end of an opportunity that I should have, and an end of an opportunity for me to fully travel the this beautiful country, Japan. So that's what I have been thinking about. Like if yeah, if I just go home after my studies in 3 months' time, um, I might not have the opportunity to come back again because yeah, I'm actually here on a scholarship, and had it not for the scholarship, I I wouldn't have the chance to come to such a place like this. And mm, those are the kind of mixed feelings that I have about returning home. Like I feel excited um, leaving Japan because I'm going home to see my family again and to see friends that I've seen for something like 4 years. But then part of me kind of want to stay here in Japan. Yeah, because like I mean, the creative part of me, the the creative part of me wants to stay and try and do something about YouTube here in Japan. Um, but then on the other hand, like going back home would also will also be something worthwhile too because I'm not really going home to do nothing. I'm going back home like with the things that I've learned here in Japan as part of my school. I might able to go and contribute something to the progress of my country. Yeah, but yeah. So those are some of the things that I've been thinking about. Having lived here in Japan for the last 3 years. So if by March next year, it, it will be something like 3.5 years for me here in Japan. Mm. And if you are watching this and you haven't experienced living in a foreign country for quite a while, like I know like 3 years is not that much, but like how do you feel like when you live in a foreign country and for a very long time, do you feel like you feel attached to the country, or do you like when it's time for you to leave, do you feel some kind of attachment to the country, or you're just happy to leave like that? Mm. So having said that, like I recently found out that when you are a student, you when you move to Japan as a student and you have a student visa, normally when your visa expires, uh, you can be granted a 6 month period to remain in Japan if you want to look for work. But that 6 months will you have to apply for it. Um, I think your school will help you to apply. And normally the application is made to, I mean, the school just write a letter for you to let the immigration office know that you are capable of, of living in Japan, like after your studies, you are capable of surviving financially maybe in Japan. So if the letter is accepted, you can live in Japan for something like 6 months. Normally like that I forgot like the actual um the actual name of like of that 6 month period, but it's usually the time that is granted for you to do other activities, maybe to look for work and all this. So that's what one option if I want to to live in Japan after my studies. I might apply for that. Can apply for that to um, find work. But then otherwise, I can also start looking for work right now, and then instead of going back after my studies, if I happen to find a job, then the the company who wants to hire me, that is, if I'm going to be hired, will help me get a working visa to stay here in Japan. And mm, interesting stuff that I need to kind of think about. But otherwise, I mean, I can't wait to head home to visit my family. And yeah, probably I don't, not probably, but if I'm going home, I'm definitely going to make videos about the Solomon Islands. I know a lot of people don't know where the Solomon Islands is, and that is what I'm super excited about as a content creator. Like I've learned quite a lot after living here for 2 years. Um, when I say learn a lot, the things that I've learned while here in Japan is, um, the confidence to talk in front of the camera. Um, I wasn't really that confident when I was back home. Uh, when I want to make videos, like I feel so shy. And also I've learned how to. I mean, when you want to make when you want to make videos, I think the best advice that, like, I've heard people talk about this, and I can actually relate to it. Like, you are not going to improve or to develop, or you're not you're definitely not going to hone your skills in editing videos if you don't shoot and edit videos. You have to make videos to improve. That is, if you are interested in making videos. And that's what I, I like about Japan. Like, I think because initially, like, I'm not really a shy person, but like when it comes to making vlogs and talking in front of the camera and then making videos outside, I'm very self-conscious. Like, people are watching me, just talking in front of the camera and all this. Like, I'm super shy. I like got embarrassed to do it publicly. But after moving to Japan, like um, I've practiced that so many times, and I think I'm getting better at it, and it is it is a skill that I think it will help me if I go home, because yeah, my main intention is to keep making videos, even if I go back home. Um, to yeah, um, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like a lot of people don't really know where my country is. Um, many people haven't even heard of it. And yeah, if you're watching right now, I'm from the Solomon Islands, and I'm currently living here in Japan. And yeah, I'm just talking about me leaving Japan very soon, because my study period actually ends in February next year. February, like kind of early March. And yeah, some some morning ramblings. So it's currently 12:47 here in Tokyo. Um, chilly morning. Yeah, so that's it. But having said that, like I think I've given it quite a thought lately. I mean, the process of, I mean, me finishing studies and moving home or staying, I've given both options a lot of thinking lately, and I think I'm super ready to accept either of them. Like if I go home, then I'm super ready for it. But if I decide to stay in Japan for some time, I think I'm super ready for it too. So what am I doing at the moment? Like, am I interested in staying here in Japan to work? Yeah. So I think I still have, like, because I have until mid March to leave Japan. But like if I want to to kind of work here in Japan, I need to find something now. I know, like, in Japan, normally the process in Japan is, um, if you are finishing in March, um, like like for me, if I'm going to finish my studies in March, normally in Japan, like you start looking for work like in the middle of this year, like April, around April this year. I should have been looking for a job at the time. And because in Japan, like the process of getting a job is very lengthy. Lengthy in the sense that, I mean, it's lengthy because, like, I think they have a lot of paperwork uh, to process. So that's why, like, people start looking for work even in the beginning of their final semester in uni. People start looking for jobs already. Oh, and I haven't done that. Yeah, so I'm keeping my options, like, open. I'm talking to some people currently. I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but like I'm currently talking to some people to see if like there is any possibility for me to find work after my studies. But otherwise, I'm also keeping my um I'm also freeing my mind. Like I'm not trying to get too attached to the idea of like settling here in Japan and working here in Japan. Because like if I don't happen to find work here in Japan and I leave, if I put all my hopes in finding a job, getting too excited about it, I might feel bad if like I don't eventually get a job. So yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm super prepared for both options. Like yeah. Mm. Oh, Red Folk, very, very good morning from Japan. Doesn't Japan need more workers because of the population decrease? Yeah, they do. They do. They do need workers. But I think in Japan, like it's kind of funny. Like I was listening to one YouTuber the other day. Like even if a job says they need bilingual people, like people who speak Japanese and English, um, like most companies they need when they say bilingual, they are talking about bilingual Japanese people. That's the funny thing about like most of the jobs here. Um, Even if you speak Japanese, but you are American or you are a foreigner, they might not really consider you. And it's funny because like their population is decreasing and they are too strict and I think this country needs some kind of loosening in terms of like the strict rules and regulations and all this. If I think the economy is kind of suffering. Yeah, kind of it's kind of suffering and it will be um in the coming years. Like it's definitely going to be a very big problem for them because if they are not going to adjust the way they yeah, world economic system is kind of I know, right? It's like when like in Japan, like the the Japanese yen is very weak, and American dollar is very strong, and then like for us for non-Americans, like we like the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh man, American dollar is very very strong, and life in America must be really really good. But then I was talking to one of my friends from America today. Uh, Today I was talking to like he's from uh, Chicago, Chicago, right? And he said like American money is strong, but like things are really expensive. Yeah, so Red Fulcrum, I totally know what I mean. I totally understand what you're saying. That world economic system is kind of is kind of bizarre. Mm. Gordon Tough, good morning, my brother. Do any job, meet various people. Yeah, man. Gordon Tough, man. Um, I think I'm I've talked with some people. Gordon Tough. I've talked with some people to see if I can. Yeah, but it's not really clear yet. So because I should have been searching for a job like in the middle of this year if I want to remain to live for an extended period in Japan after my studies, but I think I haven't done that. So currently, like I'm talking with some people, but yeah, maybe if I will talk more about it if we we kind of if if we happen to find something fruitful. Where Fulcrum say it's not strong. There's gonna be a power shift soon. Dog eat dog world. The cats and the dogs are being eaten by people. Don't be in groups because people lead you wrong ways. What do you mean by being in groups? I haven't been in any group, man. Look at the CEO murder that just happened. Oh, that's news to me. I haven't been reading a lot of news. The CEO thingy. Is it where like the CEO news? Is it in America? I'm a bit ignorant, I should say, like when it comes to news. Like I don't have television here. Like if mm. Oh, I see, New York. Gordon Taft say only foreigner in my group. Gordon Taft. Ah, okay. I don't really mind the race thingy, Gordon. Yeah, so if I happen to find like if I happen to find a job and stay in Japan, that would that would be I mean, I think it's going to be a totally different experience altogether because I've been living in Japan as a student. So I guess if uh, is when you are a student, you don't pay pension, and maybe you don't get you get taxed differently from like the normal working people. So if I have a working visa, then I think the things will shift, things will change, and I've been contemplating that uh, really hard as well. I mean, I've been really thinking about that recently. Like, even if I have a job, like, is it going to be? Because like I think Japan is getting expensive because like the price of the prices of things are going up, but the salary I think hasn't really changed for I don't know for a very long time. Like the salary from maybe 10 years or so many years ago uh, have are still like they I mean The rate that people are paid now hasn't really that changed, but things are getting expensive, and yeah, Mr. God and Tav, I'm stuck as well. Man, sorry to hear that. And Red Falcon says central banks will collapse. Oh man, that's something that, yeah, we need to be aware of too. Yeah, I think that like mm, these are the things that I continue to think about. Like, is it worth it for me to find a job and live here for a while, or should I just go home and like find work back home? Yeah, God, just being sustained. Gordon said the minimum wage. Yes, the minimum wage hasn't changed. It's by design. They are gonna bring it in another economic system. Ah, interesting. Yeah, I'm currently working at a something like a school here close to me. I think Japanese people are not lazy. They are cool. I don't want to like. I don't think Japanese people are lazy. I think they like I it doesn't really surprise me so much to see like the way of life in Japan and when I arrived here in Japan. And what I mean by it doesn't surprise me that much because I mean I'm from the Solomons and this is Japan. Like the cultures are totally different. So like when I see people act differently or when I see the system is so different from us, it's not like it's not really surprising because like I expected things to be that different. So I think that mentality has also helped me to sort of enjoy the life here in Japan. Like I don't want to like feel so entitled in the sense that like if if I'm being treated in if I'm being treated differently from the way that I used to be treated back home, I don't really want to make a big deal out of it. I want to be treated the way that I want to be treated. Like I want to accept like um, how things are done here. Um, and I feel like by doing that, I get to be I get to enjoy life more. Like uh, when when you when you start looking at the system and how things are done, and then how they should be done, and all this, like you are creating like too many things to think about. Uh, so yeah, for me, like whenever I see something different in Japan, like I I need to I if I have close friends, like I just ask them like why are things done differently like this? Like I just ask, and then when I know that when I get the explanation, then I just tell myself that, oh, this is how things are done. So yeah, so design your own situation. Kind of something like that. What I'm saying is, all days it was that way. Oh, Red Fulcrum. So Gordon is my friend. He's an American Japanese, half American and Japanese, and and he actually lives here. Mm. That's an interesting question. You know that, I mean, one surprising thing about being a half Japanese, like according to stories that I've heard, is, some, earlier today I was talking about, like, I think the Japanese system need, like, the Japanese people need to loosen up a bit if they are to coexist with foreigners. Because I heard that even if you are half Japanese and you look Japanese, but as long as they hear that you are half Japanese, like, you can be denied an apartment if you're looking for an apartment. Because in Japan, like, some some real estate, is it real estate, or like some housing companies, they don't want foreigners. So I heard from someone that, like, she's American, but the boyfriend is part Japanese, and maybe Korean or something, and he speaks perfect Japanese. Yeah, he speaks perfect Japanese, but as soon as, yes, landlord, as soon as the landlord knows that, like, so the couple were looking for a house, but then, and like, the landlord was, so the landlord was kind of okay with it because the guy was speaking Japanese, but then as soon as he noticed that, like, the guy was like how Japanese, he just immediately denies them the apartment. Yeah, so some tiny things that makes it kind of uh, kind of hard for even half Japanese people. Like, even if you are half Japanese, maybe Gordon can talk about this, but, like, even if you are half Japanese, like, you're not you're not really seen as a Japanese. Mm. You're being seen as a foreigner. You're not Japanese enough. Some interesting things to think about. Yeah, laws, maybe, yeah. But I hope things change, because even if the birth rate of Japan suddenly increase next year or in a couple of years, they are still going to feel the current decrease in population for so many years to come. Yeah, so I mean, these laws need to be mm, this laws needs to be loosened up so that like yeah, so that the economy will. But I think recently Japan has made a lot of improvements in making it easier for foreigners to live and work here in Japan, maybe compared to so many years ago. Yeah. Trying to work where elderly doesn't want to do. Um, elderly. So the problem with me is like, I mean, every time I talk about this, like people will say, "That's your fault." Yeah, I was going to say like the problem with me finding job in Japan is I don't speak Japanese. I mean, mm, yeah, I don't speak Japanese, and yeah, that also limits the choices that I have, the options. It's a worldwide problem to judge people Japanese. Red Fulcrum. It's a worldwide problem, definitely. Yeah, so I guess like my the decision to remain in Japan, like it it like in short, I have maybe by early January to kind of make the decision. Because for me, like I come to Japan on a scholarship, so because I'm finishing in March, early March, uh, the scholarship will also pay for my return flight back home. But then I need to tell them like early next year if I want to remain in Japan. Because if I want to remain and work here in Japan, they are no longer going to pay for my trip back home. So that is something that I need to tell them um, by next month. But I think I'm super happy to go home. Like if things don't really work out, like it's a great opportunity for me to show you people what the salmonella is. You know, I might get to show you people like what's life like in the salmons. No, actually, I'm graduating like in on the 10th of March. So, like, I'm leaving after the graduation. But like, as I've said, like, I need to tell the scholarship, like, my decision, like, if I want to, um, if I want to remain in Japan. But currently, they are working on, like, I've submitted like proposed dates that I want to leave. So they will get back to me and like they'll book the ticket and then they'll confirm it. I don't know when, but like maybe early next month, something. Mm. Yeah, so those are the things that I want to talk about today. Just a brief update, and yeah, it's nice talking with everyone today. Oh, and again, I haven't made the announcement yet, but I'll probably, yeah, I'll make the announcement tomorrow. Hey, Adrian, hello. Yeah, so probably I'll make the announcement tomorrow. Yeah, like I started this channel on the 18th of December 2021. So on Wednesday this week, it will be the third anniversary of this channel. So I'm planning to make a I'm doing a um live stream on Friday this week. Friday. So Friday that would be Thursday. Those of you in America. So I'm doing a live, and in that live I'll be cooking some Solomon Islands food, and yeah, we'll be talking more about plans, leaving Japan, all this. Oh, no problem. Thanks for joining, anyways. Adrian said I'm late to the live. Always nice. So Adrian, like he normally comes to Japan around November. That's what he told me last time. Mm, great. Yeah. So Adrian, I was talking about. So Adrian said, "Oh, I'll go back and rewatch to see your opinion, it unless you want to catch me up." Okay. So in this what's this? Yeah. So I was talking about um giving an update on my stay here in Japan. I've been living here for the past 3 years. I'm on a scholarship to study, and my school actually ends in March next year. Like that's when the graduation will occur, and according to like the scholarship, like I should go home after the graduation. So currently, I've I've given them two proposed dates to go home after the graduation, and the dates haven't been confirmed, but um, I'm leaving in March next year, probably in the middle of March, and it's not much still working. Oh, yeah. And I I mentioned that I'm kind of I'm kind of happy about leaving Japan because I haven't gone back to the Solomon Islands ever since I moved to Japan in 2021. I like I think people will not understand, like I think it's just too expensive to go home. And like uh I kind of I kind of want to spend some time in the Solomons like over the past 2 years. Like sometimes like there's a lot of time for me to go, but I mean it's just not viable for me to just get up and go. Like it's kind of expensive and all this. Yeah, so I haven't gone home for like in March next year. It will be 3.5 years. So I'm super happy that I'm heading home. But in this, but today I was talking about like part of me also wants to kind of stay in Japan after my studies, uh, and I'm actually trying to figure out if okay. So I'm actually trying. I'm talking with some people to see if it is possible for me to kind of find a job and stay here. But then on the other hand, like I'm having an open mind. Like if I don't have I didn't if I don't get to find a job, then I'm okay. I'm fully prepared to go home. But if I happen to find a job, I'm also fully prepared, like to try and adjust to the new setting because it's going to be different when you have a working visa. Like it's definitely going to be different. And I have been living here as a student, so uh, most probably things that working people experience, the challenges, like I haven't gone through those, so it's going to be a different challenge altogether. Mm. And one of the reasons why I feel super, I mean, part of me wants to kind of remain in Japan for some time. Like, uh, part of me wants to kind of explore Japan more because I haven't able to do that as a student because man, financial stuff. It's kind of yeah. I've been to some places in Japan. I've been to Kyoto, Osaka, Gunma. I think I've been to a lot of places in Tokyo, but yeah, I just feel like maybe if I remain if I decide to stay after my graduation, I might have more opportunities to go as far as Hokkaido or Okinawa. But there's still chance to come back if even if I go home. But I don't know how how possible is that because but you never know. Yeah. The agent says you have plenty of time. March is a long time to think about it and make a decision. It's probably a lot more difficult than we should. Mm, I understand that. Yeah, Japan is probably a lot more difficult than visiting. Living in Japan, yeah, it's kind of. And I think the the thing about Japan that is kind of like for me the thing that keeps on popping up in my head when I try to think about working in Japan is like the cost of living, and then yeah, to be honest, like I am one of those adults, those middle-aged people who, oh man, I don't know how to just, I mean, what to say about this, but like when it comes to finances, like I think I haven't graduated in this department. I'm yet to graduate in this department. Like I need some kind of thorough teaching or Uh, oh man, we are kind of we are around the same age, not middle aged. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I've been thinking about. Like, oh man, it's one thing to find a job, but it's another thing to kind of manage yourself, manage yourself. I'm at the point like I honestly like for me like I haven't really earned anything from the videos that I make on YouTube yet. Like probably it will come one day, it will happen one day, but like for me like I I try to make decisions around YouTube. That's how crazy I am about YouTube. Like I want to do I mean whatever decision I make, I want to try and see if I can still do YouTube. Hey, that one bird girl. Hello, hello. Yeah, so yeah, um but but if I happen to go back home, that wouldn't be a bad choice at all because I'm gonna be one of the Solomon Islanders. I think we do have content creators back home, but I noticed that I think they haven't talked about our stories like in a way that I mean yeah, like we do have. Thank you, Adrian. Like either way, I'll follow you. I enjoy your presentation style. I haven't seen many Somali content creators. I mean, I think our content creators back home. I mean, it's it's some of them they just create videos in the local language, and that's why like I've been trying my best to polish up my English. Like, I think I'm a better writer when it comes to English. I'm a better writer than a speaker, and I think making videos have really given me a lot of practice when it comes to speaking. Now, when I started YouTube, like I I was writing a lot. Like I wrote the scripts for my videos, but then recently I decided like just to think about something and then just say it. Like sometimes my English is not grammatically correct when I do that, but uh, I noticed that by doing videos without a script, like my English has really improved. And I also like have American friends here in Japan, and like for me, like when like English is like my third language. Adrian Nam say you speak great English, honestly. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. For me, English, like, I'm I like making jokes like in my language. I'm a like people in my family knows that I'm a person who loves to crack jokes and all this. But when I started using English every day, sometimes my jokes didn't really sound so funny when I say them in English. And recently I sort of like try to measure my level of English by the way I by the way or through the way, maybe through the way I make jokes. Like if my jokes sound funny to someone who speaks English, then that means that, like, oh, maybe I'm improving. So recently I have noticed that, like, people tend to understand a lot of my my dad jokes. So that's what I noticed. Like, oh, maybe YouTube and having international friends have really helped me to speak English better than. Mm. And it's funny too, because like back home, like we have Australian and British influence. So like normally, like we speak, like for me, maybe you can hear part of that in my in my English as well. Like, after moving to Japan, like I have so many American friends. Like sometimes the way I pronounce some words, they don't understand. So I think if if people back home listen to me, they will kind of like, what is happening to him? Like, I I started saying some words differently. Like, example, I used to say better, but then now now I started using better. Maybe, and I don't know what's happening to my brain. Better, so uh, sometimes like I say some words and like my American friends don't understand. Even butter. That's not how I used to say it. I just say butter, butter. Cool, man. Like it's funny as well. Like when I was talking, like I I met up with one friend the other day, and then he said, "What's up?" And then I, because he's my good friend, so I, before answering the question, I asked him like, "Can you just tell me like what's the proper way of answering the question? Like, what's up? What should I say? Like, if I'm good, I've been okay, then what should I say? What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, I'm good." If someone says like, "What's up? What's up, man?" Kansas, what's up? Things about languages. That's a hilarious thought. I don't think any of you was respond to what's up correctly. What's up? Oh man. What's up? What's up? I've been up there. What's up? What's up? What's down? What's up? I've been how? What's up? What should I say? I've been okay. What's up? What's up? I might respond, not much, man. What's up with you? What's up with you? I normally say, I've been okay. I don't know if that's even correct. I've been okay. Not bad. What's up? I've been. What's up? What's the hilarious way of responding? Would be a good response here. I would like if I'm going to be funny. I'm going. What's up? Mm. I've been like if someone asks me what's up, I've been okay, and I've been acting like an almost 40 years old. What's up? What's up? Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's the update from Tokyo. Yeah, probably like I'll get to um I'll know more about my fate very soon. Yeah, so actually I've already submitted uh two proposed dates to my to my scholarship people. Yeah, because they are working on booking a flight for me to go home. Yeah, so mm. But even if I don't get to find a job before leaving, and I still want to look for a job, there is an option like for students. Like if I think if you're watching this and you're thinking of coming to Japan to study, this is something that or you also need to know. Like I think the Japanese government allows students who have graduated to stay in Japan for 6 months after their graduation. I think this is a period for students to look for a job if they want to look for a job or if they want to find another school or to do other things. Yeah, they can able to do that. Be a very good response here. Yeah, so that is something that I might need to consider as well, but um, I need to find a place to stay if I want to remain after because the current accommodation that I'm living in or I'm staying at is is only for students. So if I unstudent myself, is that even a word? If I become a non-student, if I unstudent myself, I need to mobilize myself out of this place. So man, it's gonna be hectic if I decide to do that without a job because man, I don't know if the landlords will even accept people with the job. So well, as I've stated, like I don't want to pressure myself to that much. If if nothing works out, then the most easiest route to take is just to take the ticket and then fly to the islands. I think like what are some interesting stories that the yeah let me talk about that. What are some interesting stories that I might get to tell you about the Solomons if I go? Oh man, so many stories. I think one interesting story that I've been putting my mind. I mean, I've been eyeing is uh, you know they during the Second World War, the island that I live is like is is very famous amongst Americans and Japanese soldiers. Like there was a lot of fighting there. And it's very interesting. Like the uh, I'm very interested in history and like that island has a very fascinating history when it comes to the Second World War. And both Japanese and American war veterans, they still go there, and like some of them passed away already. Their families still go there. They have the Americans and the Japanese soldiers. I mean, Japanese government and the American government. They build monuments on the island to commemorate like the events and that occurred on that island, like in the 40s. And yeah, and it would be really I there's an American who had a channel dedicated to that. I've been watching his stories and he's very informative. Like um I'm planning like to read some of the resources that he provides on his channel, and then maybe I'll provide the explanation from like a perspective of a local person. And yeah. I find it quite interesting, like the Second World War, because in the 40s, we were already under the British government, but like we were not the Solomons were not really a colony. It was just like a territory, like a protectorate. That's the word that they use for the country. So like the British government has an interest in the islands, but they are not like it's not like Fiji. Fiji was like a colony, so there was a lot of development in Fiji before the British left the island. But for us, it was just like I think they were operating out of maybe Australia or Fiji. Like they did some kind of development, but it was not really that big. So uh, the when the Second World War happened, like the islands were like not so populated, so I was kind of fascinated. I mean, I was kind of interested in how the locals were. I mean, what was the experience during that time? And I think not a lot of local people managed to tell their stories, like the experiences during the war. I only read about like one local Solomon Islander who was, I think he was the first doctor from the Solomon Islands. He was like a teenager during the Second World War, and he wrote a book, and it was kind of interesting to hear the stories from a local person. Like, oh man, Like during the Second World War, the locals really loved the Americans more than the Japanese people. And it was easy for the Americans to befriend the locals and to use them as, to recruit them as, because they the locals understand the terrain and the landscape and all this. So what the Americans did was they used local coast watches, and I think the locals really helped the Americans to identify where the Japanese people were, Japanese soldiers were hiding, and yeah. So the Japanese people, like the Japanese soldiers, were the first one to land on Guadalcanal, the main island that the war was fought, and they actually made an airport. And then when the Americans came, like when the American government gave a green light for like the Allied forces to to enter the Solomons, their first aim was to capture the airstrip that was built by the Japanese soldiers, and they did. And after they captured the airport, and that airport is now like the main international airport of the Solomon Islands. After they captured the airstrip, like the Japanese soldiers were pushed towards like to the edge of the airport and towards the hilly part of the island, and it was the locals who helped the Americans and the Allied forces to locate the Japanese, and yeah, eventually the Americans won. So I would be interested in seeing more of the Solomon Islands through the eyes of someone who lives there. Does the Solomon Islands have a lot of tourism? I know Fiji does. Man, we have the potential to earn a lot of money from tourism, but we we haven't. I think the government is not doing enough to help the tourism industry. But currently, there has been a lot of effort put in place to try and boost the tourism industry, and a lot of locals are venturing into tourism because in the Solomons we have so many islands. I think we have so many more, like more than Fiji only have 300 something islands. We have 900 something islands, and yeah, a lot of locals are turning their islands into like eco eco-friendly homestays or accommodations, and yeah, slowly people are so. But our mostly our visitors are from Australia and New Zealand, but it's a very very small industry because I think in terms of marketing there hasn't been a lot of marketing. I mean, marketing, uh, even if aggressive marketing is, for me, I think like currently, even if aggressive marketing is done to promote Solomon Islands, um, that would, like, we don't really have the number of accommodations to to meet the demand if people want to come to the Solomons. Yeah, but if you if you come to the Solomons and there are so many interesting things that you can do, like bird watching is one of them. We have islands with so many wildlife. We can also enjoy snorkeling. We have a lot of beautiful reefs. Surfing is a niche that is, I think it's slowly attracting people from Australia. And there's, I think, the Solomons have won awards for a lot of beautiful diving sites. So during the Second World War, there's the main island called Guadalcanal, and um, there's a group of islands. We call them the Florida Islands. So between those islands and Guadalcanal, a lot of ships and ammunitions were sunk between between those two islands during the Second War. Planes, ships, and all these military things, and they the passage has been nicknamed the Iron Bottom Sound. So the Iron Bottom Sound is a very famous place for diving. Yeah. Oh, and you need to learn how to swim. It's funny. Like I have African friends here who now I ask a lot of them, and they don't know how to swim, and then like it's kind of funny to me, but like I think if like for people who grew up on an island, like if you don't know how to swim, like it's what it's some like unnecessary that you have to learn how to swim. Snorkeling. But I think if you even if you don't know how to swim, like some of the islands, like snorkeling is something that you can easily do because the islands are surrounded by reefs and the water is very shallow. It's very clear, and then I think it's something that you can enjoy even if you don't know how to swim. And what else? Oh, and then those World War II wrecks and sites too is becoming popular among visitors. And there are some, like close to the capital, they have some villages that you can go to just experience like the cultural way of life. I think snorkeling, um, snorkeling is kind of, I'm not really sure, but like if if you are uh like if it's a shallow water, like you don't really need to know how to swim. Like you can just stand and then you can see the reef and using the googles and all this. Oh. Uh, my friend they own an island, a small island. I think you can walk around the island 15 minutes or something, and they have a something like a resort on that island, and it's locally owned. Like you can come out of your bedroom and then the balcony, like you can sit on the balcony and put your legs in the water. It's called Oravai. It's I would recommend people going there. Also, there's a place called Upi, and something. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I feel like it'll be interesting to. And I think like recently, like I mean, like some, I think we don't really have a lot of information about the Solomons, especially on YouTube, because I think nowadays people learn a lot of things from social media, like YouTube, like how to enter the country, like do you need a visa, visa? Do you need like what what's the recommended form mode of transport to go from this island to that island? How much does it cost and all this? These are the tiny things that like people like the kind of information that I think needs to be, yeah, be put on the internet. So um the tourism board, like they put most of those information on the website, but man, nowadays like people don't really read. Yeah, so it might it might be, I mean, it'll be good to have this information like on YouTube that people can easily read. And but the Solomons, like compared to Fiji, like I think they, if you go to the Solomons as a tourist, the experience will be, I mean, the atmosphere, like the islands and the feel and all this might be a bit similar to Fiji, but in terms of remoteness, I think some of the places are very remote, and the resorts and all this, we we tend to have a lot of uh, they call it ecotourism in the islands. Like people build traditionally made houses, and then yes, not so commercialized buildings and all this big hotels, and yeah, so it's kind of laid back. Like its life is very slow. And yeah, and also like the websites, like we all know like something that is put on a website, like it's normally like sometimes the pictures are graphically enhanced and all this. So even if you put a picture that looks so nice, they are like people might still. But if you show it on a video, like people will have a, a real life experience of how things look. Mm, 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 mm. Yes, yes, yes. Recently, like the local tourism authority has invited like some content creators from Australia, or I don't know. Yeah, and I think that's something that they need to do more often. they are to spread. Yeah, but so many interesting things to kind of talk about. Yeah, guys. So I guess that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I will keep you guys updated. Again, like there's a party this Friday. I think for those of you on the other side of the world, it's gonna be on Thursday night. Thursday, I think you guys will be in the daytime. I guess. Always pleasure, Harold. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Man, I do appreciate like you taking your time to listen to my all over the place rambling. You know, I've been putting off the idea to go live on YouTube. I actually did. I had some live like 2 years ago, but then I stopped doing it because sometimes I feel like, man, sometimes I feel like I don't know what to talk about, and and also like when I started, like I really struggle like to explain things in English, English, English. Yeah. But I think recently, after like going live, and talking and talking, I- I'm beginning to understand what to say. Yeah, man. I try to join when I can catch it. Okay, thank you, Adrian, and thank you whoever is watching at the moment. I'm gonna call it the night. It's already two a.m. here, 3 minutes after 2 in the morning, and I need to get some sleep because I have something to do at 10 o'clock later today, 10 a.m. Well, well, let's say like talking is very therapeutic. Therapeutic, like when you talk about something, you you free up some space in your mind for some new thoughts. Yeah. 2 a.m. Yes, get some sleep. Okay, my brother, Adrian, really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy about everything that I've talked about today. Oh man, thank you. It's good to listen. You know, sometimes I always tell myself like when I talk with my friends, I always tap myself on the shoulder, reminding me, please listen carefully when people talk. And I have the tendency of like interrupting people, but that's not really good. When people talk, you listen before. We listen, we don't judge. Okay. Oh man, 99, 99 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's sayonara from Tokyo. Adios, guys. Okay, I'm gonna teach you a word in the Solomon. Like, see you next time. In the Solomons, we say look him you, look him you, look him you. See you next time. We can just say we have a pidgin English, so we say look him you next time. See you next time. Look, just like the look. Yeah. Instead of saying look, you say look him you next time. So guys, see you next time. Look at me next time. And have a nice day as well, Adrian. Bye bye.